Alright everybody, you know how it goes. Turn to the unsuspecting person next to you and in 3, 2, 1, Aloha! This is TalkFishTV.com and I'm your host, Long Island's very own HawaiianDan, and a proud member of the Long Island Salt Savage Group, a group that can be found on Facebook. Membership is free, so bounce on over there and sign up. I promise you won't regret it. Now this is the very first of the 2019 monthly fishing summary, where I will go over absolutely everything that went on for the month. What lures, what techniques, what presentation, what locations, what species, and exactly how many fish we caught. I'll also throw in some side notes that you can keep so that next time this year, you'll go into the spring season with a great plan of attack that will almost guarantee success. Now, remember to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on a single report. So let's get to it. Aloha.
Bunker arrived early, which is a great sign. Then you can see I caught them on small flies and teasers, specifically the clouser fly, 3-inch size. The night bite was great. I was casting into the lights. Then they moved on to the Tsunami 2-inch bunker swim shad. Still super small profile, small schoolie spring stripers. Then came the first day, or the opening day of fluke season. We caught 2. I was pretty surprised. The water was still cold, about 50, 51 degrees. 2-ounce bucktail combined with gulp alive 6-inch nuclear chicken worked. Pretty awesome day out with the kids. Then I got a surprise striper. I really didn't expect that. I was really targeting fluke, but he hit it, which means the schoolies were in here pretty thick and heavy for the month of May. Night bite again, catching them on the 7-inch chicken scratch SP minnow. You could also use the pearl white bomber. Then the 1/4 ounce white bucktail. No teasers, as you can tell. The key was to match the hatch. This time of year, early spring, the baitfish have a very, very small profile. I would say 1 to 3 inches, no bigger than 3 inches, very thin body. You want to match the hatch, you want to match the presentation through the water. The night bite was pretty hot. So I mainly would cast into the shadow of the lights created by any of the structure and then let it drop. And then jig it a little bit, work it a little bit away from the structure, trying to sit it right on that shadow line where the shadow and the light meet, because that's where they'll dive out of it. And just kind of jigging it, letting it drop, retrieving it. Jigging it, letting it drop, retrieving it. And you can see the schoolie stripers were in here thick for the month of May, which is about a month ahead of where they were last year this time. The water was still cold, 50, 51 degrees. I was pretty surprised that they were in here so heavy. But everything's aligning this year to be an epic season. The bait fish arrived, then the migration started, and the bait fish stayed because, the striper stayed because the bait fish were here for them to feed on. There's a shot of the sounder showing how thick they were. Again, 1/4 ounce bucktail, super light. You want that presentation to flutter and flurry just like the bait that's about. You can see I added a night light. I wanted to see what was going on and what kind of bait fish they were. Initially thought they were grass shrimp because I had seen them in the back bays, but it turned out to actually be, and I should have known better, sand eels. So anytime we hit spring here on Long Island, sand eels and grass shrimp are the first bait that are pretty heavily prevalent here. Is a good question. I get a lot of questions on when is it time to release a striper, when have you arrived it properly? And the best thing to do is to lip it. Do not put your fingers or hands in the gills. That's the worst thing you can do. You want to carry the fish at the head and the tail to kind of balance the weight. Take all the weight off the organs. Don't put your hand underneath those organs either. But you basically hold on them and kind of work them back and forth through the water, and when they're ready to go, what they'll do is just before they're ready to release, they'll clamp down on your finger. Don't worry, it doesn't hurt. They don't have super sharp teeth. They're just small, like sandpaper type teeth. They'll bite down and then they'll let go and take off. You can see the stripers can be found just about anywhere. You can cast from shore, you can cast from surf, you can cast from a watercraft, structure. The key for me in the early spring is always super light, and white seems to be the color that works best. You can see size up and size down depending on the conditions, right? So for me in the early spring, the bucktails range anywhere from the 1/4 ounce up to no heavier than a 1/2 ounce. A great alternative is the Tsunami. The Tsunami 4-inch holographic spit tail soft baits. They work really great too. Pretty much mimic the sand eels. Again, back to the 1/2 ounce white bucktail. You can see the wind. You can actually hear it in the background. This right here broke my heart. It was the first keeper fluke, I believe, of the season that got away.
Oh,
but I could
no
see him, and he
way.
was barely hooked, and it was going to be luck just to get him to land on the beach. Of course, the sea robins are pretty heavy in the spring. Don't freak out. If you want to minimize that bycatch, then stop using scented bait and just concentrate on artificials that aren't scented. You're still going to catch them, you just won't catch as many. This particular day, I caught a ton because I could see them striking the surface. They came and went though.
Oh, and one more very important thing. It's very important. If you notice the old shindig right here, do not forget your insect repellent. Do not forget to cover up, because this is the time to see them, and they are hungry. All right, till tomorrow. Aloha.